Hey football fans, welcome to our way too early ELF Power Rankings for the 2025 season. With 16 teams in the mix, the competition is tougher than ever. Commissioner Patrick Assume promises exciting new matchups, and this season is set to be wild. From the reigning back-to-back champs Rhein Fire to newcomers like Nordic Storm, we're breaking down each team's potential and chances for glory. Some are rebuilding, some reloading, and others are ready to surprise. So grab your jerseys, settle in, and let's see who will rise and who will fall in the 2025 ELF season. Starting at number 16, the Prague Lions. They are making strides for the 2025 ELF season, though they still face challenges after a tough 2024 campaign with a record of 1 win and 11 losses. Key moves include the signing of dual-threat quarterback Javarian Smith from Lake Erie College, which could boost their offense, and the retention of strong defensive back Jan Kiars, who has been a consistent performer. The team also hired Dave Warner as head coach, bringing a fresh approach to player development and strategy. The Lions held tryouts in December of 2024, actively seeking talent to strengthen their roster. Jalen Embry is expected to return in the secondary, potentially forming a solid duo with John Cruz. While improvements are underway, the Lions are still rebuilding, and their success in 2025 will hinge on how well new additions mesh with the existing roster and coaching system. There's a long way to go for them to become more competitive. 15. The Helvetic Mercenaries. They are making major moves for the 2025 season after a rough 2024 campaign with a record of 1 win and 11 losses. They've brought in new head coach Marcus Herford and a skilled coaching staff, signaling a strong focus on player development. Wide receiver Aaron Jackson left the team before playing a game due to contractual issues, retiring from ELF football. He had signed in November to boost the team's receiving core. Other key signings include quarterback Isaiah Weed and running back Tyrell Bovell. On defense, they've added DB Jock Crawford, DE DeMarco Artis, and Australian linebacker Tom Hodgkinson. The team is also retaining several key defensive players like Hendrik Rudischhauser and Jan Hinder. With new owners, Sonia and Sandro Moore are committed long-term to the franchise. Financial stability is also in place. Although the Mercenaries are still rebuilding, the combination of experienced coaches and impactful signings offers hope for improvement in 2025. Success will depend on how well these new elements come together on the field. 14. The Fehérvár Enthroners. They are making moves to improve for the 2025 season after a tough 2024 campaign with a record of 2 wins and 10 losses. They've added top safety Goran Zek, the ELF's all-time interception leader, and veteran receiver Rashad Still. Homegrown receiver Nandor Toth, who had a solid 2024, is expected to return. The Enthroners struggled both offensively, ranking among the worst in points scored, and defensively ranking 13th in points allowed. Zek's addition should help strengthen their secondary, while if quarterback Jack Mangle and receiver Nathaniel Robitaille return, their chemistry could spark the offense. There's no word on coaching changes, but the 2025 season will depend on how well the team integrates new players, develops talent, and addresses last season's weaknesses. The signings are a step in the right direction, but more work is needed for them to become more competitive. 13. The Cologne Centurions. The outlook for the 2025 ELF season is uncertain. At the moment of this video being recorded, there have been no player signings or updates, indicating a slow start to recruitment. After finishing 2024 with a record of 6 wins and 6 losses, and their first winning season since 2021, significant improvements are needed, especially given their offense ranked 10th in points scored and their defense was the 3rd worst in points allowed. There's no head coach announced for 2025, and it's unclear whether key players from 2024 will return. While they've signed international talent in the past, like Sverre Finsen, there are no updates for 2025. They'll play at Sudstadion, which could offer stability for morale and fan support. With limited progress so far, the Centurions will need to act quickly to strengthen their roster and address weaknesses to be competitive in 2025. 12. The Frankfurt Galaxy. They are in transition for the 2025 season, with some positive developments. They've secured quarterback Matthew McKay, who showed promise late in 2024, throwing for 1,393 yards and 10 touchdowns in just 6 games. However, running back Thomas Fischbach will be retiring. The team has made significant coaching changes, with Bart Andrus taking over as head coach and Thomas Kussling moving to a front office role. Andrus brings extensive experience from the NFL and NFL Europe. Additionally, John Leighton has been appointed as defensive coordinator, and Mike Mitchell will coach the offensive line. After a disappointing 2024 season with a 4-8 record, and currently the Galaxy are clearly in a rebuilding phase. While McKay's retention and the coaching changes are positive, their success in 2025 will depend on how well they build around these core elements and improve on last season's performance. 11. The Berlin Thunder. They are in a transition phase for the 2025 season, with some promising moves but also key challenges. Jagbal returns as head coach, having previously led the team in 2021, and he's signed a 3-year contract. His return could bring fresh strategies, though his first season in charge ended with a 3-7 record. The team has added 19-year-old wide receiver Tyler Foster, one of Germany's top young talents. However, Berlin finished 2024 with a record of 5 wins and 7 losses, marking their first losing season since 2021, and will face tough losses heading into 2025. They've lost standout defensive player Kyle Kitchens, a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, and top receiver Aaron Jackson, who joined the Helvetic Mercenaries. The Thunder will play at Friedrich Ludwig Jahn Sportpark. While the young talent addition and new coaching staff are positive, Berlin's 2025 season outlook is still unclear, with the team potentially retooling or aiming for contention. They'll need significant improvements to stay competitive. 10. The Raiders Tirol. They are in a rebuilding phase for the 2025 season, with some promising developments. Head coach Jim Herman's contract has been extended for 2 more years, providing leadership stability. Key players like tight end Richard Weber and several linebackers, including Ruben Sieber and Tim Unger, will return, helping maintain roster continuity. The Raiders finished the 2024 season with a solid 8-4 record, just missing the playoffs, which gives them a strong foundation to build on. New signings, such as Spanish talent Diego Paz and former Rhein Fire lineman Jonathan Pepler, could boost their lineup. However, the quarterback position remains unclear, which could be a concern for the upcoming season. The team is still making roster announcements, signaling they are actively working on their 2025 squad. While the Raiders have positive elements in place, their success will depend on filling remaining gaps and developing chemistry under Herman's leadership. 9. The Hamburg Sea Devils. They are in a rebuilding phase for the 2025 season, but there are some promising developments. They've hired experienced head coach Shuan Fatah, known for his NFL Europe coaching and championship success, which could significantly improve the team. Key offseason signings include linebacker Janelle Pelly from the British national team, experienced linebacker Niels Hoffman, offensive lineman Finn Zilka, and the biggest addition, Kyle Kitchens, a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, who will strengthen their defense. After a disappointing 2024 season with a 2-10 record and last in the Western Conference, the Sea Devils need to address both offensive and defensive weaknesses. They finished near the bottom in offensive rankings and were second to last in points allowed, so improvements in both areas are crucial. Young players like running back Lucas Harding Candido and receiver Jakob Neugebauer showed promise in 2024 and could be key in 2025. The Sea Devils are making strides with a new coaching staff and roster moves, but their success will depend on how well Fatah can integrate the new signings, develop young talent, and fix last season's issues. 8. The Wrocław Panthers. They are shaping up well for the 2025 season with several promising moves. Head coach Craig Kuligowski's contract extension ensures stability, while the addition of talented offensive lineman Lucas Mayer and wide receiver Darrell Stewart Jr. bolsters key positions. On defense, Carlos Bronze returns to strengthen the line, and dual-threat quarterback DJ Irons will lead the offense, promising a competitive season ahead. Several key players, including Rafał Rogachevski and Konrad Orzechowski, are returning, maintaining roster continuity. Despite a 6-6 record and finishing second in the Eastern Division in 2024, expectations were higher given their championship aspirations. The Panthers also have the flexibility to add up to 10 international players, allowing for strategic talent acquisition. While not all roster details are confirmed, the Panthers' targeted additions and leadership stability position them to be competitive in 2025. Their success will depend on how well these elements gel on the field. 7. The Stuttgart Surge. They are shaping up to be a top contender for the 2025 season with a strong roster and solid moves. They've bolstered their offensive line, signing 12 players, including key additions like Marlon Werthmann and Moritz Schreiber. While they retained standout wide receiver Louis Geyer, they lost Yannick Mayer and Darrell Stewart Jr. to free agency. The quarterback position remains uncertain, especially after Riley Hennessy's likely retirement, and this could be a make-or-break factor for the team. On the ground, the addition of running back Tomiwa Oyewo strengthens their already solid rushing game. Defensively, while specific signings aren't confirmed, the return of key performers like Mitch Fettig and Christian Tutt would solidify the secondary. With head coach Jordan Newman returning after leading the team to success in 2023 and 2024, the Surge are building on a strong 11-1 season and semi-final appearance. Given the 2025 championship game will be held in Stuttgart, the team could position itself to be a serious title contender if they find the right quarterback to lead the team. 6. The Paris Musketeers. They are shaping up to be a strong contender for the 2025 season. A major boost comes from the signing of former NFL head coach Jack Del Rio, bringing 35 years of NFL experience to elevate the team's performance. Offensively, the Musketeers have retained key players, including star wide receiver Austin Mitchell and tight end Kevin Mwamba, while quarterback Zachary Edwards, who threw for over 3,057 yards and 34 touchdowns in 2024. If retained, he provides a solid foundation for the offense. On defense, they've extended the contract of at least one starter, maintaining a solid defensive core. After a successful 2024 season with a 10-2 record and a semifinals appearance, the team is building on a strong foundation with a focus on developing French talent, which could pay off in the long run. The combination of a high-profile coach, key player retention, and recent success positions the Musketeers as serious contenders for the 2025 season. 5. The Rhein Fire. They are in a strong position for the 2025 ELF season, coming off back-to-back championships in 2023 and 2024. They retain key players like all-star defensive back Flammer Simon and fullback Patrick Poich, ensuring stability on both sides of the ball. Head coach Jim Tom Sula remains at the helm, despite losing key players such as quarterback Jadrian Clark and running back Glenn Tunga to the new Nordic Storm. They've signed all-star QB Chad Jeffries, a solid replacement to keep their offense competitive. With an impressive 11-1 record in 2024, and with home field advantage at Schauinsland Risen Arena and Merkur Spiel Arena, the Rhein Fire are positioned to be serious contenders again in 2025. Number 4, the Munich Ravens. They are shaping up to be a strong contender for the 2025 season, building on their impressive 2024 performance. They've made some key changes, including signing 21-year-old quarterback Russell Tabor to replace Chad Jeffries, signaling a focus on developing young talent. The running back unit remains solid with Justin Rodney, who had a standout 2024 season, though Tomiwa Oyewo has left in free agency. Defensively, the Ravens were dominant in 2024, allowing the fewest yards in the league and ranking high in third down defense. Star defensive player Johannes Zerngiebel recorded 14.5 sacks, and the team has extended defensive back Eric Kuhnke's contract, maintaining continuity. Head coach Kendrell Ellison returns after leading the team to a 9-4 record and a playoff appearance. With a potent offense, second most points scored, and one of the league's top defenses, the Ravens are poised for another competitive season in 2025. The retention of core players and strategic additions give them a solid foundation to build on. 3. The Nordic Storm. They are making promising strides for their inaugural 2025 season, led by experienced head coach John Shoop, who previously guided the Munich Ravens to a 7-5 record in their debut season. The team is well positioned to develop quickly. On offense, the Storm have added key players like quarterback Jadrian Clark and running back Glenn Tunga, both champions with the Rhein Fire in 2023 and 2024. They've also strengthened the offensive line with experienced players such as Love Larson, Victor Neumann, and Matthias Roll-Hummelmose. Defensively, they've brought in Swedish linebacker Ludvig Myran, who has 3 years of ELF experience, and Max Parkinson at strong safety to bolster the secondary. With an emphasis on local talent, especially from Denmark and Sweden, the Storm have the opportunity to tap into a rich talent pool. The ownership group, with experience in sports management and American football, further adds to the team's potential. While expansion teams typically face challenges, the Nordic Storm are making strategic moves that could allow them to exceed expectations in their first season. 2. The Vienna Vikings. They are shaping up to be a top contender for the 2025 season, building on their successful 2024 campaign, where they finished 13-1 and reached the ELF championship. They have made several key moves to strengthen both offense and defense. Defensively, the Vikings have retained crucial players from 2024, including NFL and CFL veteran Thomas Schaffer, Marvin Wappel, Florian Sudi, and Moraz Elmouthaler. They've also added veteran defensive back Divine Buckram, who brings valuable experience from the XFL and GFL. On offense, the Vikings have bolstered their line by re-signing all-star offensive lineman David Rauter. They've also kept All-American wide receiver Reese Horn, who had a standout 2024 season with 75 catches, 1,164 yards, and 13 touchdowns. The team has brought in Ben Holmes, an experienced quarterback from the USFL and CFL, to lead the offense in 2025. With head coach Chris Kaleke continuing at the helm, the Vikings' mix of experienced returnees and new talent positions them to be a formidable force in the upcoming season. Last but not least, the number 1 team for the upcoming season, the Madrid Bravos. They are primed for a strong 2025 season thanks to a mix of key signings, player retention, and the addition of high-profile head coach Andrew Weidinger, a former ELF Coach of the Year with the Barcelona Dragons and offensive coordinator for the back-to-back champion, the Rhein Fire. Andrew's leadership is set to elevate the team. The Bravos have secured quarterback Reed Sinnott, bringing NFL, XFL, and UFL experience to the position. They've also bolstered their offensive line with experienced players like ELF veteran Yasir Raji, Australian Brendan Oswin, and local talent Eduardo Sanchez. Key wide receivers Carlos Carrasco, Javier Carrasco, and Edu Perez have been retained, ensuring a strong passing game. On defense, the return of all-star defensive end Alejandro Fernandez and the addition of new Spanish talent such as Jorge Hernandez will strengthen their defensive line. With an 8-4 record and a wildcard appearance in 2024, they are building on a solid foundation. Overall, the combination of experienced signings, local talent, and a top-tier coach makes them serious contenders for the 2025 championship.
So, those are my way too early European League of Football team rankings for the 2025 season. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments section. So if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a update. And if you love sports, you found the right place. This channel is all about bringing you the latest and greatest sports content. And don't forget to share this video with more sports enthusiasts. For more content and much more, please click up here to dive into more videos. And thank you so much for watching. Your support is really appreciated. I'm Sports Header. I'll catch you guys next time. Until then, keep loving sports.